Good afternoon and welcome to the daily recap. Today is Wednesday, January 20th, and let's get into the market action. It was a big day up for stocks and bonds. We saw the S&P breaking out to new highs. We saw the NASDAQ breaking out to new highs. We did see bonds break above the 10-day moving average here, this yellow line. We have a gap to fill right here, which it could, if it gets above this line, this high here of 153.07, which is close, then we could very well see bonds rally back up to test, to close the gap, to test the 20-day moving average here. If that happens, we could see that pressure the stocks down, but for now we'll wait and see. The dollar was down, but it's still near the last week's highs. It looks like it could be breaking out. If that happened, that could also pressure stocks. But gold started rallying, breaking above the 50-day moving average, suggesting that there's more to this. We do have a gap here. That gaps like to get filled, so if gold is going to go up, then that means the dollar is probably going to be going down. The volatility index also was down 7.23%, so hovering down this line where it's been supported before. So we actually bought some volatility calls in case we do see some weakness in the market. Then our volatility calls will help support that as insurance. But let's get into our stocks. We had several stocks hitting the scanner today. We'll go into some of those. Right now we'll just go over the stocks that we currently are holding in our portfolio. We had 9 stocks hit our scanner today. So we bought some of those. We sold off some of our existing positions that were up in order to purchase some of these stocks that were down. So we didn't buy all of them, but we did buy some. We sold off PayX, TX, Store, STOR, SAM, Sam Adams, and GLOB. And in their place, we bought KNSL, KTB, EPAC, and USB. So let's get into those. Here, EPAC, that was one that we bought today. It was down 0.36%. However, we purchased at 22.17, so it was actually profitable for us. And it closed up near the rising 50-day moving average green line. So that's a good sign that it dipped below but then came back above it. We could get a pop here to test the 10 or 20-day moving average, these red or yellow lines. Those will be our targets, probably the yellow line. I'll update the sell targets on the positions we're holding later this evening. If you're holding stocks, or if you picked some of the trades today that I did not pick and not going over here, just write in and tell me what those are, and I'll do an analysis of the sell targets for you. FRC, we've been holding that since we bought the dip down here. We are in at 155.16, so holding a slight gain. Our sell target is this 20-day moving average, 158.87. We also have a gap here that we believe will be closed here in the next few days. So once that closes and it gets up towards this line, we're going to sell and take our profits. HUM, we've been holding on this for a few days now. We got a little pop today, up 0.99%. We are still underwater on it. We are in at 420, so our target here is 422.48. If it pops up, then we will have a slight gain and we'll look to get out of the trade then. ITGR was slightly down 0.19%. Nothing really happened here. It didn't make any new lows. It didn't make any new highs inside day, so it's waiting to kind of see what's going to happen. KNSL is one of the trades that we took today. We got in at 191.66, so it closed at 192. We have a slight gain on that for the day. Our sell target is going to be here, this 205.34, which is the 10-day moving average, this yellow line. I expect that it did make new lows here the last couple days, so it is trending down. It could fall to this rising 200-day moving average, the purple. That's where we would look to add our other 30% of our allocation. As it's been making new lows the past 3 days, it is very possible that it could go down and test this line. But buying the dips, you never know what's going to happen. Oftentimes, we expect for bounces up. So we'll wait and watch and see what happens there. KTB was a stock that we purchased today. We got in at 41.86, so we're holding on to a slight gain. The reason we bought it here, it was supported by the rising 50-day moving average at 41.81. So we bought when it got below it and it closed up above it. So that's a really great sign that it is not going to continue down further. It also has not made any new lows. So we actually expect this one to bounce up, test this rising 10-day moving average at 43.51. That would be a good place to take profits. With its support and that it hasn't made new lows, we could even see it bounce back up to test new highs here, and a good sell target would actually be the upper Bollinger Band there. 46.24 is what we might look for to sell. Moving on, we're still holding LVS, Las Vegas Sands. This one we're in at we are in at 56.25. So we've been holding a loss here. We bought it right around in here. So we're going to look to take profits if it gets back up. We'll take a small loss around this 10-day moving average yellow line, 56.09. It is possible it could bounce all the way up to the green rising 50-day moving average at 57.24, which would give us a gain. We'll wait and see what happens. If we'd love to take a profit, so if it does jump and tests this 56.09 10-day moving average and it breaks through at all, we may hold on to it because there's the 20-day and the 50-day moving average up here, which would be a great sell target if it can get breakthrough, but we'll wait and see what happens. PG, we bought this one today. It hit our scanner. We got in at 131.71. So as it was coming down, making new lows here, we bought. It is possible it's very close to this rising 200-day moving average purple line at 130.46. So if it falls down there, we could look to add our other 30% of our position here. But we'll wait and see what happens. It has been making new lows the last couple days, so a lot of sellers have sold out and the market makers have had to buy those stocks. So usually when sellers drop out and the market makers have to take those positions, the stock tends to rally. So we could get back up here to test the levels of the last few days before it dropped. Our sell target is going to be this 10-day moving average yellow line at 136.61. RL, we actually sold that this morning for a slight profit and then bought it again today when it was supported here by the 20-day moving average red line. So we are in at 106.47. You see that it closed at 106.59, so we're holding on to a slight gain because it was supported. We actually think that this one could go back up and break through the rising 10-day moving average and go on to test the upper Bollinger Band of 117. So that was actually a great trade for us because we got out early in the day, a slight profit, and then we're able to get back in at a lower position. USB, this one hit our scanner today and we got it right here. We got it in at 46.06. So we bought after it had started to test these lows from the previous weeks. It went down and actually hit the 50-day moving average, and that's about where it closed. So if it breaks down below there, we still have support from these last few weeks, and we don't expect it to continue falling much more. So that's why we bought here. We have a gap from the last day, and gaps get filled, so we are going to look to take profits somewhere around the rising 20-day moving average, which is 47.51. It actually is going to, in order to close the gap, it's going to have to break above that, and if it does, then it could go on to test this 20-day moving average at 48.82. I'm sorry, the yellow line is the 10-day moving average, 48.82. So that may be our sell target at first. We'll watch how it reacts. If we get a bounce up to the red line, and just if we can get it all the way up to the 10-day moving average, this yellow line, that's where we'll take profits. And VRSK is one we've been holding. We are in at 197.35. So right now we have a loss on this, but you can see it went and got close to the 10-day moving average at 196.33. It fell back a little bit, which is not what we'd like to see. We'd like to see it break up through. Our sell target is the rising 50-day moving average, the green line at 198.98. So those are the stocks we're currently holding. If you have some that we didn't mention here, just write in and I'll send those to you personally, what our sell targets are on that. But it was a great day for the market. Really encouraging to see such strong upward momentum here, breaking to new highs. We had more volume than yesterday, so it's possible tomorrow could continue. We'll just watch and see. We don't predict, we watch and see what happens and follow these trends. So the good thing about buying dips is if the market is rising, then the dips are going to catch up. If the market falls, then we bought the dip, so our dips maybe should not fall as much when the market is falling because it's already dipped. So it gives us some cushion here. So that's a great thing about the strategy. It worked great today. We had a great day as well as the market, so everything was up. But tomorrow we'll watch and see what happens. So thank you for staying with us, and profitable trading.